Okay, so today I got to the train and I was waiting on the platform and I wasn't there for very long, maybe 2 minutes, and this guy came and I see him all the time. He tends to show up when I'm waiting for the train, um, in that area, or and then he follows me. He gets off where I get off. Um, One time I actually I left. I got to the platform. A few minutes later he came. I went down again. I went out and I went to take the bus instead, and he didn't follow me. But what he did was I looked back and I looked up and I noticed that he was watching me walk away from the top of the platform. Like he was looking off the top of the platform, watching me walk away. Um, but what he will do is he will get off at the same stop that I get off at, when I do take the train and stay on the train. Um, he does that. Uh, and it's not like we have the same schedule, because it doesn't matter what time I go. It can be in the morning, it can be in the afternoon. He will be there. Either he'll follow me like from behind me, and then he'll quickly walk in front of me. So when we walk into the train station, it looks like he got there first and I walked in after, or I'll get there first and he'll come a few minutes later. Either way, and then we'll be on the train and he'll get off at the same stop that I get off at, and he'll just stand there on the platform and wait and watch me walk away. Um, so today um, I decided to get off at a different stop, but so we got on the train, and of course I'm not going to get on the same car that these perpetrators get on, right? So like he's to my left and he gets on the car right to my left, and I get on the other one. And typically like what they will do is like they know that I'm not going to get on the same car as these guys. Like they'll have someone come in and whisper something under their breath, something personal that they should have no way of knowing, or make this specific gesture, something that references. Anyway, they know I'm not going to get on the same car as that, but they'll have someone waiting on the other, right? So no matter what. But anyway, so I get on the other car and it's crowded. So I went and I sat back by the window, which is, there's like it's a window where but the other car is right behind it. So, and there's a window on theirs too. So when you look out that way, you're actually looking into the other car. And we start moving, and then a little while later I look over and he's sitting right there by the other window in the other car. So we're like on opposite sides there. And I looked into to the car that he was on. There were plenty of seats, and I couldn't see all the way back, but I could see right by him. He didn't have to sit there. So we're each sitting on the opposite sides of these windows. So eventually I got up when more people got off, and I moved to the other side of the train where he couldn't see me, and I couldn't see him. You can't see into the other car from that far away. Then this other guy got on, and I knew that was going to happen, right? They have to keep a monitor on me. He sat on the opposite side of the train facing me, made the gesture, looked at his phone, looked back up at me, made the gesture again. I look out the window. I'm trying not to get provoked. But then I keep looking over at him, and he keeps looking back up at me, and eventually, he did it one too many times. I mean, that particular gesture, and I got up. I went over and sat by him, not on the same seat as his, like next to him, but like on the opposite end of the aisle. And I asked him, look, I told him, look, if you're going to keep doing this, just, if you're involved in some kind of campaign where you're told to follow people around and fuck with them, just go to the FBI. You're not working for the good guys. Just go to the FBI. They're not going to do anything about it. They're not going to stop it, of course, but at least they're going to hear it from the other side, and it's not just the people this is being done to, speaking out, right? That way they can't say they don't know, right? I mean, they can publicly say that, but, if they have people who have actually done it, telling them they've done it, right, then there's no longer a question as to whether or not it's happening. He didn't say anything. Instead, he looked at me and very slowly this time made the gesture and then looked back at his phone. No smirk, nothing this time, just a stone cold face. I said some things, because what they're doing is they're trying to provoke. They're saying, they're showing us that they're there, and there are cameras around. What are we going to do about it? It's almost a dare. Do something. And you just having to take it, like knowing what they're involved in and everything else that they're doing. And there's one of them sitting right there and you can't do anything. It's getting to the point of they know that nobody can take that indefinitely, and people are gonna fucking start snapping. Anyway, I got off the train at a different stop, totally different stop. So I didn't get off where I was going. I didn't get off where I was going. Got off the train at a different stop, and the other guy who always shows up and who had been following me and who sat on the other side of the window, he gets off at that same stop. He always gets off at the stop that I get off at, the one that I normally get off at, right? But this time I got off at a different stop, and he gets off there. He walks ahead of me down the stairs, and then I lost sight of him. I didn't see him again. Anyway, just another day in the life of a target. Happy New Year.